Well, 7 new faces in the All-Australian team. Marcus Bontempelli's the captain. And the Eagles and the Dockers both got 2 players in. And I think no surprise that our next guest had made it because he's had a stellar season and will be right up there, I'm sure, when all the big vote counts are being held. Caleb Serong, thanks for joining us and congratulations.
Yes, good morning, guys. Thank you very much. It's another great honour. Thank you.
All righty. Now, straight to the hard questions because there's been a lot on social media. We've had a few texts to us this morning. The players from Sydney, West Coast and Fremantle, none of them were wearing ties and everyone else was. Can you just tell us what the dress code was, Caleb, please?
Dress code was cocktail. So I don't know what cocktail is anymore. I assumed that was less formal than formal. But yeah, when I rocked up and probably didn't lend itself too well for us, the fact that we had white sneakers on either. So that wasn't too good for the Freo boys. But it was. I was chatting to Errol Gould and I were laughing up on stage actually, and like looking around like far out. There's not. we're looking a little bit underdressed here, which was a bit flattening. But I like to pride myself on dressing nice and dressing up. But that's all right. It's you live and you learn. But yeah, last year it was black tie, which made it a little bit easier, whereas this year it was a fair bit of variety in whatever was around.
Yeah, that's right. And to be honest, and I had this, Hayes and I had this discussion a bit earlier, hats off, if the AFL had been absolutely across it, they would have had a box full of ties like they have at the Sandover Medal. If you don't walk...
And the 200 Club function.
Correct. If you don't have a tie, they go to a box of ties. Anyway, that aside, hey, mate, congratulations. And where does it sit? I know there's this still, and you spoke last night about the disappointment of where the season has ended up for Freo, but for yourself, where does this season rate, knowing that you're in the All-Australian?
It's a tough one, because I probably haven't had a heap of time to reflect on the season as of yet because of, I guess, our own mental headspace and mindset was a little bit scattered at the moment because subconsciously I'm telling people I'm still in performance mode. I haven't been ready for the season to finish yet. So I feel like I should be preparing to play a game this weekend or next weekend and going to training tomorrow and whatnot. So it's going to take me a little bit just to unwind from the season on that front and probably reflect. But yeah, it's on a quick question. It's been quite a challenging year, and from an individual point of view, and a lot of different challenges this year that I probably didn't have to deal with last year around getting a bit more attention and the tag and dealing with that and learning to deal with that. So from that point of view, I'm kind of really proud of the way that I kind of worked through that and worked through those challenges because there's a lot of new ones this year that I hadn't faced before, and I felt like I was still able to maintain a level of consistency and to be a really good teammate throughout all that.
And you became a goal kicker. I think all Fremantle fans got excited. I got excited when you're leading out of the goal square, just plucking it with a clean grab, and you finished with 11 goals. What was the catalyst for that? Were you looking at guys like Warner and Goulden and Heaney and looking at their numbers compared to Fremantle at that stage, who, not just yourself, but all the midfielders were struggling to kick goals early in the season?
Yeah, part of it is like you kind of see it around the league and see the mids going forward and kicking goals and stuff. But I never really thought that was kind of my role. I knew my role in the footy club and what it was valued as, and that wasn't kicking goals at that stage. And for me, that was around clearance and stoppage and getting the game played in our front half in that respect. But the fact that we could then go forward and add another string to our bow, both as a midfield group to kind of freshen us up, but also like JL's not going to do that unless it's having a good impact on the team and it's working. So the fact that we're able to kind of continue that for the second half of the year, I think we're really keen to practice it and train a little bit more because none of us had done that, and we kind of went to it cold turkey in season to see how it would go. And I think you saw the growth in those mids going forward and the impact that they could have on games as the season went on, but it was kind of like learning on the run a little bit. So I'm really excited to kind of see where they can go when we are a bit more comfortable down there and know those roles a little bit better and can play that a little bit more comfortable and more free, which hopefully allows strengths to come to the fold, which I'm really excited about.
Caleb, can you talk us through your emotion and what you did on game day, watching and waiting for the result of Carlton and St Kilda?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I watched a little bit of the Doggies-Giants game in the morning, just because it was a really good game, and I was pretty aware of my own emotions and understood that if I was buying into it or if I was getting too wound up, I just needed to turn it off. And I was able to watch it pretty relaxed and kind of understand where it was all at. And then we're on the way to the game, and Carlton St Kilda just kind of started. So we didn't really know a heap. By the time we got to the game, it was quarter time. It was pretty close. And then as the game kind of kept going, there was little whispers, because obviously pre-game we can't have our phones at all, and there's no real screens or anything on. So you don't really know unless you go ask someone that has a phone or whatever it is. So there's a few little conversations here and there, but then we warmed up and everything. And just before the game, just before we ran out, I was about to speak to the boys inside, and we found out that our season was alive through pretty much the whole crowd outside cheering and erupting. It was very similar to when the Matildas kicked the goal, and we were playing West Coast in the Derby last year, and the whole crowd erupted. So nothing to do with what was happening on the football field. So that was quite a unique experience. But yeah, we did a lot of work during the week on preparing either way and understanding that we wanted to put a product out there on game day that was going to be representative of the way we wanted to play as a football club, no matter what the outcome or the scenario we were playing in. And I felt like we were able to do that, and unfortunately didn't result in a win, but yeah, we still went out there and played our way.
Okay, so let's not back too far over that. Let's go to the future then. Now, and let's just cut to the chase. The season's over for Richmond. The season is over. So they've got players who have asked for trades. One is Shea Bolton, one is Liam Baker, one is Jack Graham. Jack Graham looks like he's going to West Coast Blue, blah, blue. On a system right here, Caleb, which of those two blokes, Baker and Bolton or both, would you like at the football club? And is the club making genuine noises to you that they're chasing after those guys?
Again, with the end of the season speeding so quickly, we haven't really had too many of those individual conversations with Walls in jail, which I'm sure will come over the next couple of weeks and doing some work around hopefully meeting a couple of those guys and kind of going through it from a player's point of view what that looks like, because we're super excited about bringing talent in at the moment, and from a playing group and a leadership group where we've got the picks there, and we can be really specific with what we want now. So we've got a lot of talent in the four walls, got a lot of talent that's committed, and a lot of characters in the four walls that are going to hold us in really good stead for a long time, and hopefully allow us to compete for a long time at a really high level. So that lends itself to being able to be really specific with what we need, and part of that's some match winners in the front half. And I'd be super excited about having either of those guys, but hopefully both of them up there, because both premiership players, dual premiership players, and they know what it takes on those big stages and those big moments. So to have that kind of experience walking your four walls could only have massive impacts in a positive way. So I'm fingers, toes, everything crossed that we can bring some of those guys in, because I'd be very excited to play footy with them.
There are two of them. What about Gossage Pickett? Do you think you could bring those two in, Bolton and Pickett? That means no more full forward for Caleb Serong.
Yeah, I know. If Bolton wants to come inside, up in the midfield, we can just do a little switcheroo, and I'll play 5 minutes down there. If he wants to run around, that'd be some work. But again, because he's one of those guys that is just so dangerous in the front half, and he's a nightmare matchup to. We know when we come up against him, we have to scout for him. We have to, same with the other two guys, have to scout for those individuals, and to have players in your team that require that is always a massive benefit, because you know how much of an impact they can have on another team if you let them off. So I think Brandon Walker would be excited if they all came to us, because he wouldn't have to match up on them all. But it'd be very exciting, and we're just I guess what always happens in the trade period is there's a lot of those linked to different, and then naturally some don't go through, but if we can get a few of those guys to wear purple next year, that'd be really exciting.
No doubt. So you're there last night with the pick of the crop, and even the 22 that don't get picked out of the squad of 44, a remarkable group of players. What's your vibe with the final series? Is it too raw to predict the winner, or who do you think as a team from here on in can win the flag?
Yeah, I got asked yesterday, and it's a tough one to kind of pick because of how, as we all know, how close it is, and all it takes is one team to get on a little bit of a run, and there's a few teams like the Giants have had a really good last couple of months. So I Port Adelaide last week. We ran into a really hot team last week, and I still think the Doggies are the best team in it at the moment. With the way that they match up across the field and what they've kind of mixed and matched with throughout the year, Ed Richards going on ball, and then you got Lobby going down back. Those kind of moves in season have worked really well for them, and think they're in a really good space to shake it up, but they've also come up against a pretty informed team in Hawthorn next week, so I think that's going to be a cracker. But yeah, I'm intrigued and see how I go over the next couple of weeks watching. I'm not sure how I'm going to go this soon and this raw, if I can bring myself to watch some footy, but I think come prelim final weekend, I'll be ready to watch it again and really appreciate the greatness of what happens around that time.
No doubt. Hey, mate, congratulations getting another blazer. Absolutely outstanding work by you, yourself and Luke and all the others selected. But Fremantle having 5 players nominated for All-Australian, and, of course, the 2 of you getting it is a wonderful achievement for a team that sadly didn't make the finals. Have a safe trip back, mate. Enjoy family time, whatever you do next, and we look forward to seeing what happens over the next couple of weeks in regards to other awards for Caleb Serong. Not that you're there for those, but at the same time, you do need just reward for your outstanding work. Thanks for joining us.
Always appreciate the time, guys. Thank you.